Hey guys, it's postboxpat. Welcome back to a brand new Fortnite Battle Royale video, and in today's video we're going to be going over all of the Fortnite news you guys need for the last few days and hours or so, because there's been a lot going on. We've had tons of stuff actually, to be honest, a lot of stuff that's been popping all over the place, and this is why we've got to break it down for you in today's video. So if you don't already know and you've been living under some rock or something, Black Manta is in the item shop right now in Fortnite Battle Royale. If you're going to cop him, don't forget to go and support me with code postboxpat. It's probably one of the best places to support me, so thank you everybody using that, everyone supporting me. I am a hashtag Epic Games partner, and here are a few shouts for those who are supporting me right now, so thank you everybody who is doing that. If you are copping Black Manta, let me know in the comments. Do you like the skin? Do you not? It's a pretty cool one in my opinion, but I ain't too sure if you all like it, and I'd like to know, because on stream some people loved it and some people didn't. I'd like to know what you guys think of that. Okay, what else do we have? So other information is obviously the Black Manta trailer and the Aquaman trailer. This trailer itself doesn't just show off Black Manta and Aquaman, it also shows off some other things as well. So there was the trailer, you guys just saw it, but now we need to break it down and go over everything that we've seen in this trailer so we can kind of go over exactly what we're going to be getting. So first off, we don't really see too much in the trailer, we just see a bunch of helicopters and Black Manta going in with his squad. Now the most interesting thing about this, and we'll get into it in a second, is the actual squad he's with. If you actually look, he's with the Peely, what am I saying, Peely? He's actually with, obviously, the Jonesy Scuba version, and obviously that could possibly be his henchman when he actually gets a POI. And we'll explain that in a second, because right at the end here, you can see there's a Black Manta with his henchman, and there is Aquaman with his version of his henchman being the Fishstick army. So there's some interesting stuff there. If you take these screenshots from this picture here, we've got first off the henchmen on the Black Manta side, and you can see them there. Obviously they're the Scuba Jonesy set. Possibly they could be at the actual Atlantis area, and we could even see a separate area for Black Manta. And then we see Aquaman's Fishstick army in the Atlantis armor, almost like his guards. So it's kind of interesting, because if you look closely, we see them with a brand new pickaxe set on the right, and also a brand new variant of Fishstick. Now this will most likely be part of the DC series, just like we saw with the Deadpool series regarding Cuddle Team Leader and Raven. Now I personally didn't cop them because I wasn't a fan, however this Fishstick with that armor looks awesome, and I think a lot of people will be getting it. So I hopefully guess it will be a separate item shop skin, which is not really a hope, but you know, it'll be about 1,500 V-Bucks. It'll probably come with the pickaxe as well, just because obviously it's a reskin, kind of like just armor on it, so I'm guessing it'll probably come with the pickaxe, and it might have an extra bonus as well, like a few emotes and even a glider. But obviously we'll get more information on that in the next update, and that actually leads us on to talk about the next update. So first off, before we actually go away from this image, come back to it here, if you look in the background you can actually see the Atlantis POI. Now what's really interesting about this is if you check out the circle around Aquaman, you can actually see the water level is at Aquaman's head or a little bit above it, and obviously this probably means that this POI is going to actually be in the water, and the water's just going to be around him, a little bit like we had the old storm. That's how I think Atlantis is going to be. I generally think it's going to have like its own POI in the water, and you're just going to see huge towers of water which you can just swim up randomly, and it'll just take you to the top, and obviously you can swim down as well. I think that's how the mechanic of this POI is going to work. So we know that we've got it on the map. We've seen a lot of information regarding this POI coming in. We've all been looking for it for ages, and obviously we've seen the leaked maps, etc. Well, what else do we have at this POI? Well, there's a bunch of different stuff which we've got. We've obviously got the Atlantis structures, which we just saw in that image there, the little tease for them, but we've also got the actual sound effects. So I'll give you guys about 10 seconds of the sound effects, nothing longer, because they are pretty boring to be honest, and you'll hear them when you're actually there, but take a little listen to some of the sound effects really quickly. So there you have it, a little bit of the Atlantis sound effects. I'll leave them playing for a little bit while I talk, but not too long, because again, they are pretty boring. It's just a bunch of water sound effects. This will most likely be for all the water, and because it will be in like a curved bit of water, I think, like chopped out of the water basically, like you saw in the background of that image, I think these are the effects you'll get, and it is going to be a nice little location to land at, and definitely something which I think we will all enjoy. I do think it'll be better than Deadpool's yacht, because this is actually going to be its own POI. Now again, it's a little bit unfair for Black Manta and that, because obviously when Deadpool dropped, he actually dropped his skin and variant when his POI come out. However, Black Manta's coming this time and there isn't a POI or anything like that just yet. But obviously we're getting the build up to it. We're going to see a DC series, obviously with the fish stick skin most likely, and then with the pickaxes, and we're going to see a bunch of other stuff as well on that side of stuff, with obviously exclusive DC stuff regarding Aquaman's POI. So I'm excited for it, and I hope we do get some cool stuff with it. Now some people have been saying that this will possibly come on the week 5 when the water lowers even further. Now I generally disagree with that, because the water's going to lower not tomorrow but the day after. I'm assuming that's what people are saying, and if the water lowers around then obviously we're ready for this and we are ready to go. So when the water does lower, then we're going to get access to it. And then when I say this, we're not going to get it straight away, but we're going to get it on the update. So when's the update, Pat? Well, it's actually headed into testing right now. So the version 13.3, I think it is actually in the testing stages right now. So this update will be live most likely on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, or Thursday. Not a Friday, they don't usually release on, but it'll probably be the Tuesday if you're asking for a date. And that's when I think the Aquaman POI will get added in. I think with it seen in the trailer here, they're not going to waste too much time on extending this POI not coming into the game. I generally do think Fortnite are going to get this in straight away so we can all have access to this. So that update is scheduled roughly for that Tuesday. Now what else can we expect in this update? Well, we can expect cars getting added in. You can also expect a lot of content on my channel leading up to this update, because we've got one big busy week. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. We've got some interesting stuff regarding next gen information as well, which I will be covering in my next video tomorrow, which is going to be really exciting for you guys. So that's going to go over everything on there. I've got some information obviously on the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, which will be in there. You guys can check that one out tomorrow. Obviously it's not out just yet. Then obviously we do have some other stuff as well, which I want to talk a little bit about regarding the update. So when the update does pop, we will receive leaked skins again. Now most likely the leaked skins that we receive will probably be variants for that item shop that evening. So what I'm going to do on update day is, my plan is to stream the update, obviously show off the cars, show off the Aquaman POI if it gets added in. If it doesn't get added in, what they'll do is they'll release the cars on the update, which is rumored to be the 21st, and then they'll release the Aquaman POI probably a week or 2 weeks later. So some people are saying it could be stage 5 of the water, which could make sense, because then it gives us access to have the cars for a week, and then it brings us back again for the Aquaman POI. We should probably spread the content out a lot more, and I think that would be better. But if we get it all at once, which is a highly possibility and a high chance of this happening, we could see the Aquaman POI and the cars get added in the same week. If we don't, we'll see the Aquaman files, because obviously they'll be in the files and you'll probably see renders of it. Dodgy renders anyway. They won't be any good renders, but people will try rendering it. And obviously that is where we do see that will probably be in the week after or 2 weeks later. So a lot of map changes, to be honest. For those that are a huge fan of the map changes on the channels, I know myself, that's my favorite thing to cover, just because I absolutely love map changes. I love talking about them. There's actually a lot of things I enjoy covering, but map changes are definitely up there at the top. And you know, I love checking every single week for map changes and watching the map develop. And this season has been incredible. A lot of other content creators aren't picking up on it, but there's been so many small map changes across the entire map. And we've covered all of them, from the ones at Pleasant Park, which I mentioned on stream today. You know, I've mentioned them in my previous map change video as well. And if you haven't checked it out, make sure you do. It's my most recent map change video. But for those that don't already know, Pleasant Park is actually all cleaned up. You know, you don't expect that sort of stuff in these map change videos, and no one's covering it. You know, these things, guys, no one's doing it. We're like the #1 source for every map change video, as we've been from season 4. So obviously this is your #1 source to keep up to date with all that sort of stuff, if you want every little piece of information. And again, the water's going to be lowering this weekend, which is going to allow us to even explore even further regarding map changes. It even could mean that Pleasant Park might actually eventually lose its water, and then that's why it's been cleaned up. And it's interesting to think that, because if you look at Pleasant the way it is, you've actually got obviously the gas stations which are floating. For those that have been Pleasant Park, you'll know what I'm talking about. They're not actually on the ground, so these are probably going to have to be on the ground first before we actually get cars. So maybe next week or this weekend we might even see Pleasant completely remove its water level. which I think would be really interesting if that does happen. We are seeing some render issues in replay as well over at Pleasant Park recently, so that's why I can't get too much footage of it. But I do generally think that if this does happen, you know, Pleasant might lose its water and we might actually get it back to the original form. Now, obviously, the football pitch will be closed for those wondering about that as well. Football pitch was open last season. Obviously, that was because of the shadow raid that they had underneath there and for the access of the helicopters. Another map change, actually, we predicted. I actually have predicted so many things in Fortnite. I think my best ever prediction was probably back in Season 5 when I predicted the whole theme of the season to be sand-based. I said, you know, they're testing it and save the world. I showed gameplay of it. I made an early video titled like Fortnite Season 5, and it was like me going over what I think is going to happen in Save the World, and I showed off the sand LTM, and then like a few weeks later, there it was, Paradise Palms and all that. That was probably my best prediction, but obviously we've had smaller ones, a little bit like, you know, Pleasant Park pitch opening up. It's nothing too major, but you know, it's a pretty big one. A lot of clickbaiters did copy that theory and were like, whoa, this guy knows this guy, and then this clickbait sadly. But that happens on YouTube, but you know, that's what kind of the world we live in, I guess. But yeah, my predictions have been pretty good so far. I do think that regarding this Aquaman update, it would make more sense for them to release the cars than Aquaman's POI, but they may release them at the same time depending on what else they've got scheduled. Obviously, we've got all these LTMs, and to be honest, these LTMs are so fun. We had so much fun on stream today playing obviously the brand new unvaulted LTM. You can see a little bit of gameplay of it in the background. Obviously, it's kind of a cool LTM. If you haven't already played that, I recommend playing it. Squads will probably be out tomorrow in it. You can get all the unvaulted weapons from LMG to combat, storm flip, balloons, hunting. It's not the hunting rifle, is it the infantry rifle? That's the one. There's so many different items you can get in that LTM. You know, limited time mode, it's a great one. Check it out. So the Aquaman stuff today was an awesome thing as well, and I hope to continue to stream weekly updates. I'm tempted to doing now because, you know, one problem I have on the channel in general with myself is I just don't do challenges. I simply don't do them. Like, I get the challenges every single week and I just leave them till the last week. So if I stream update days with the challenges, I think I would do the challenges as well as playing custom games. So it's like a win-win for both of us. I know you guys love custom games. I love posting custom games as well, and obviously doing challenges as well. I need to do them, and I just don't do them. And without people helping me, which I usually get people to help me on Discord, I just never get them done. So maybe it could be worth doing on a stream. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to see that. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in. Make sure you guys are smashing a like on today's video. Make sure you smash and subscribe if you haven't already. I do hope it has given you a great insight to what's coming in the future of Fortnite. Obviously, the lead up to the brand new update and all the details I've shown you guys in today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in future content. Once again, this is postboxpat, signing out.